They say somewhere in the world, there's another you, not a sibling, not a soulmate, but a flame shaped from the same fire. And maybe you've felt it. That strange pull towards someone you've never met. A sense that your heart is unfinished. Tonight we're traveling deep into scripture, history, and a few surprising moments in human nature to explore whether every person truly has a twin flame and what the Bible actually says about it. The ancient question. The idea of a twin flame isn't new. Ancient cultures whispered about it, mystics wrote poems about it, and more than one Roman philosopher blamed heartbreak on it. One even said, "The soul is two people arguing constantly in one body." Relatable. But the Bible, it tells a story even older. In Genesis, before there was humanity as we know it, God looked at Adam and said, "It is not good for man to be alone." Notice something. He didn't say Adam needed a duplicate. He didn't say Adam was missing his other half. He said alone was the issue. And yet, when Eve was formed, Scripture says she was made from Adam's rib, not to be his mirror, but his counterpart, like a melody that finally found its harmony. But then, in every generation since, humans kept asking, is there someone who matches me perfectly? Someone formed from the same spiritual spark? What people call twin flames. Modern spirituality uses the term twin flame, the idea that one soul was split into two bodies, two people, identical in essence, destined to reunite. But here's something most people overlook. The Bible never describes souls being split. Instead, it describes something more mysterious. Souls being knit by God. Think of David and Jonathan, two men who met, and Scripture says, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David. This wasn't romance, it wasn't duplication, it was divine connection. It suggests that God doesn't split souls. He weaves them. The search for the other you. But why do so many people feel like there's someone out there who is almost identical? Someone whose presence would unlock a corner of their spirit? Maybe the answer is simpler and also more profound. When God formed humans, He didn't create us to be self-contained islands. He created us with gaps, sacred spaces, places designed not for a perfect copy of us, but for relationships that sharpen us, challenge us, and grow us. Imagine meeting someone exactly like you. Same habits, same flaws, same way you leave the dishes to soak for 3 days. That's not romance, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And yet, we long for connection because we're wired for it. Sometimes we mistake that longing for the idea that we're missing our other half. But Scripture teaches something different. The biblical thread. In the book of Ephesians, Paul describes marriage, and not just marriage but human unity, as a mystery reflecting Christ in the church. That's not duplication, it's reflection. Two different beings becoming one united purpose. And Jesus himself said something often skipped over. In the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage. Not to erase love, but to show that earthly pairings aren't about perfect matches. They're shadows of a greater unity. But then, why do some people swear they've met someone who feels like destiny itself? Someone whose presence feels pre-written? Because throughout Scripture, God uses divine appointments. Moments where two lives collide at the exact right time for a reason. Ruth meets Boaz in a field she wasn't even supposed to be in. Jonathan finds David while David is running for his life. Mary meets Elizabeth, and both their children leap in the womb. These connections weren't about twin flames. They were about divine purpose, the surprising twist. And here's the funny part. Throughout the entire Bible, not once does God try to reunite separated soul halves. But God does take completely different people, and for reasons only heaven understands, He weaves them together at the perfect moment. So maybe the question isn't, do I have a twin flame? But instead, is there someone God will align my life with to ignite something in both of us? And that is a far greater mystery. So does every person have a twin flame? Maybe not in the mystical sense, But does every person have divine connections woven into their story? Absolutely. These aren't duplicates of your soul. They're partners in your purpose. And sometimes, the person who changes your life most looks nothing like you, thinks nothing like you, and arrives when you least expect. God doesn't create matching puzzle pieces. He creates stories, and the people who enter your life, whether briefly or forever, are chapters written with intention. So if you feel like part of you is waiting, you're not waiting for your other half. You're waiting for the moment God reveals the next person meant to shape your journey. And when the next chapter unfolds, I hope you're here with us to witness it.